This is Tame Your Talent, and this lesson, human battery. Okay? I mean, doesn't it feel like all we do is operate on batteries nowadays? Like, do you leave your house with your cell phone like at 26% or at 18%? No. No. So why would you step onto an event to go and announce with 26% battery life, okay? So human battery is this episode, and we're gonna talk about ways how you can keep your human battery charged, all right? And one of the most important things when it comes to announcing is keeping your human battery charged. You never wanna go into an event depleted. 26%, 18%, what? You can't do that. You can't do that, all right? So energy level, let's talk about that. Cell phone, obviously, you don't leave the house, so don't leave the house with a low battery level as your body, especially if you're out there trying to make a job. You're trying to earn yourself a living by being a professional announcer. You're trying to get more jobs. Well, why the heck would you ever want to go out with under 20% in your human battery, all right? So night before is pretty darn important because the night before can make or break. And I do some pretty darn fun events. Like I've worked in the action sports industry doing major events for over 20 years. And along with these major events are major parties, huge parties. Parties that are like out of control. And if you go to these parties and just have a good time and you're supposed to work the next day, do you know how hard that is? Especially even if you don't have to work till 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It is still hard to be able to go big and get up and do that and have a brain that can even work for announcing, because when it comes to announcing, your brain needs to work, right? I'm right? You guys understand that? Gotta have a working brain, it's important. Working brain's important. So the night before, get some sleep. I can't say it enough. I've worked with people that done both. I've worked with people that just drink tea, that don't drink any alcohol, that do their events every day, they're professional, they show up on time, and they do an amazing job. Then I've worked with people that are absolutely just go big, and they're gonna go to every party, they're gonna be on every VIP list, and they're gonna take it large till 2 in the morning, and they're gonna get up, and they're gonna go back to work. Some people think they can do it. I'll tell you what, not for long. You try that approach to announcing and you'll be out of announcing, doing something else pretty quick because your body can't do it. Nowadays, the expectations of announcers is more and more. So you gotta be able to formulate what you're saying. You gotta be able to do all the things that you wanna be able to do. And if you got a trash can head, you can't do it. So going big is not gonna do it, not gonna help you. So look, we all like to have a little bit of fun, let loose a little bit. Here's one of the things I like to do. Now, I get flown to events and I come out to do many different events. And when I come out to do those events, I like the last night when the work is over to make that the night to go out. So if you're gonna go big and you're at an event and you're gonna have one night that you're gonna go big, save it till it's over, all right? Because everyone's going to be happy with the job you did. You didn't go out and lose it. And there's events that I've been doing for over 20 years that are major network television sporting events that I used to do that. I used to go out the night before and then be a little hurting the next day. But I don't, because the expectation nowadays is so strong. There's so much work you have to put in that you want to be there. And the job is to keep the job, right? All right? So going big, save going big for the last day. And if you're like, well, I got an early flight, hey, try to schedule your flight. If you can, you're doing events, and let's say people start flying you out to events, or you're flying yourself out because you're making good money at events. Well, schedule your flight the day after the event for just a little bit later in case you do want to go big. I'm not saying don't go big and carouse and hang out with all the people that you work with, because sometimes that bonding part is pretty darn important to bond with the people that you just worked with, right? You guys can understand that. Bonding is important, okay? So going big, not a good thing to do at all when you're trying to get a job done. Talk about the game plan, teachable moment. Man, you've heard me saying game plan. You're all, Brad, stop saying game plan. I'm not going to stop saying game plan until you get it, because game plan is important. Have a plan, all right? And the reason I talk about the game plan when it comes to human battery, you're like, well, that has nothing to do with it. Au contraire, it does have something to do with it. Because if you have a plan, you're less stressed. And if you're stressed, you deplete your human battery, man. Do you want to draw your human battery down? Do you want to drain it like a cold day when your cell phone goes from like 70% to 1%? Do you want that? Not having a plan will make that go quick, because when you start stressing out, you'll find out how quick your energy level on your human battery will drop. It's proven. I don't make this stuff up, all right? So make sure you don't deplete it, all right? Have that game plan. Now, something my wife likes to call fight or flight. Have you heard of this? You've heard of it, yeah. Fight or flight, yep. Fight or flight, yep. So fight or flight, that's one of those situations where you get into a situation where you're not comfortable with what's going on. And it's either you're gonna fight through it and power through it and get through it, or you're just gonna turn tail and get the heck on out of here and start running, all right? Fight or flight is another thing that can deplete your human battery level. If you get to that moment in your head where it's like, oh, everything's crazy, the event's not going the way I want it to go, I can't do this anymore. Fight or flight. That'll destroy you. I was working the Olympic Games in Sochi, Russia, and I was working with a Russian gentleman who was announcing for the first time. Now, he'd never done the announcing before. And then he thought, well, he knew a little bit about snowboarding. He could be an announcer. So he got in the booth, and then he realized how insane it was, how insane and how much pressure it was on announcing, right? How you've been in a situation where you've had pressing jobs, right? They're tough. It's not easy to deal with. He was in fight or flight. He almost ran out of the building and took off. He had depleted his human battery level. He was at negative 5%, and he wanted no place to be around. So I consoled him, and I talked with him, broke it down with him, calmed him down, helped him recharge his human battery, helped him through it, and he got through it. So fight or flight, you never want to reach that stage, because sometimes you can't come back from that stage, and that will deplete you. It'll take you out of the game, and you're not coming back. You're not coming back. Handling nerves. Handling nerves for your human battery. Nerves can be tough. Caffeine fixes it, right? If you just drink a bunch of caffeine, that'll completely fix any nerves that you may have, okay? Not necessarily. Some people handle caffeine better than others. It's true. Some people handle caffeine better than others. I like caffeine. I am a big black tea drinker. I like black tea because it has caffeine in it, and I like caffeine. But it's a good way to time it. Like when you're going to announce something 3 hours or 4 hours from now, if you're going to be sitting there just pounding caffeine and thinking that's going to work, at some point you're going to hit that crash level. And if you hit that crash level when you're at work trying to do that job, oh, that's not easy to do. So time it out. If caffeine is something that you need to announce with and you feel that that helps you announce, like to me, it kind of gets me motivated and gets me going. Well, I time it to about an hour before I have to do everything. That's when I start drinking my caffeine to kind of get me going a little bit. Not too much though, because you don't want to be too jittery, okay? What else? Energy drinks. I've had a fellow announcing friend that has been an energy drink aficionado for years, and he had to stop because they were putting too much energy into you, okay? You got to be careful with energy drinks because they're loaded with sugar. They can work backwards on you. They can hurt you. They can give you a stomach ache. They can really make you have a hard time getting through what you got to do. And you know, a good energy drink can pump you up, but it can backfire too. So be careful with caffeine. Be careful with energy drinks and time them out better. And then another thing, you're not going to want to do that on an empty stomach. If you haven't eaten, why the heck would you put an energy drink in your stomach? So if you're going to eat something, take care of business on that. So it's very important. All right, now, meditation. Now, my wife is into hypnotherapy, and she thinks you can hypnotize yourself into doing a great job. And I believe there's a lot of merit to that. So if that's something that you need to help you out, maybe a little bit of hypnotherapy to yourself, talk yourself through it. Meditation works great too as well. Imagine yourself successful at the job, close your eyes. Sometimes I just like motivation music. I have like a motivation playlist that I'll listen to, and that kind of helps me kind of get going too and handle the nerves, and it makes me get pumped and feel strong and ready to go for action and being positive going into it and not being negative going into it. So when it comes down to it, your human battery, energy level, so important. Get your sleep. Don't go big the night before. Be ready to go. Game plan. Game plan reduces stress. If you feel like you're comfortable with what you're going to do that day, that's going to take stress away, so have a game plan. Handling nerves. Careful on that caffeine. Don't be pounding energy drinks and pounding caffeine. If you need it to get through the event, time it better with it. Make sure you have a base in your stomach, because you don't want to get to a situation where you've got a stomach ache because you just drank an energy drink and you didn't eat. So don't make those mistakes. Be fed, be ready to go when it comes down to it. And story for you. This was way back a long time ago, almost about 17 years ago, doing a major event, and we were in London, England. Now this is crazy. Flew to London and get to my place, to my hotel, and it's a skateboarding event that I'm announcing, and I'm not supposed to do it till the next day. So it's fine. I get to my hotel room, I'm fine. I find out that I'm sharing a room. I'm sharing a room with someone who is a very, very big snorer. And I will leave his name out because he does not want to be called out on my training classes. But he was a big snorer, and he was snoring. And in London, hotel rooms are tiny. So here's this guy snoring, and snoring like sawing like a bazillion logs. And I'm a light sleeper, so I couldn't even sleep. I tried headphones, I tried earplugs, I tried everything. I got no sleep at all that night because he snored so hard. So imagine me, I got to go do a job the next day. I got to go announce skateboarding for 2 hours straight. My human battery was so depleted. My human battery probably was 0.02% at that point, and I got to the place and had to announce. I had 2 to 3, maybe 4 hours of announcing that I had to do. And these are the top pros and the biggest wigs in all of skateboarding are out there here in London. And I went to the skate park guy who owned the skate park, and I said, dude, help me out. If you can get me 2 energy drinks right now, you are going to save this show. Because I was going down. I didn't know how I was going to get through it. I was so tired. I got no sleep. I just traveled from West Coast all the way to London with no sleep the night before. Here's an event. I'm trying to do it. So I sent the guy who owned the skate park out. He came back with 2 energy drinks for me. Now, I'm not a big energy drink guy, especially nowadays as I've gotten older, but those 2 energy drinks, I pounded those 2 and I got through that event, and no one could tell the difference. It turned out that good. I couldn't even believe how good that event turned out by just those 2 energy drinks. And I'm not an energy drink guy, but at that point, look, what was the alternative? To go out and do a crappy show and announce half tired, or to mask it, fake it, and just get through it? Fake it till you make it. And that's how I did it and got through it. And it was all because I had those 2 on there. Now, if I would have tried to just do it by myself, I could have done it. So there you go. Human battery, energy level, important. Game plan, very important. Handling nerves and all that good stuff. So that's it. Human battery, tame your talent.